This episode of the Sloopcast is brought to you by the Mad Canadian Barbecue Company. Mad Canadian Barbecue Company is an Ohio-based company where they say our barbecue will take your barbecue from good to great. Ooh. Our seasoning will take your barbecue from good to great. Let's try that again. The Mad Canadian will be at the OLC Shrine Cafeteria this Thursday from 4 to 7, Cary, Ohio, of course, for some barbecue and bingo. Again, OLC Shrine Cafeteria, 4 to 7, barbecue and bingo. Be there next Thursday. Be sure to hit up his social media, Facebook and Twitter for more information about him and his food truck and where he'll be heading to next. Mad Canadian Barbecue Company, who are the official barbecue of the Cary High School Blue Devils.
This episode of the Sloopcast is also brought to you by the Iron Bean Coffee Company. Kyle's not wearing the Christmas hat this time, but it is still Christmas season. This is coming out on Black Friday. If the Iron Bean Coffee Company is doing a Black Friday sale, I'm not aware of it, but you can still go pick out some amazing coffees over at ironbeancoffee.com. All of there is a Marine veteran owned company based out of Ohio, integrity all the way from the farm to the customer. All of the beans are fair trade certified, which means you're getting the most moral and upstanding beans you can possibly get. And all of the beans are fresh roasted to order. They're not sitting, getting stale, losing their oils and losing their flavors, sitting on a shelf somewhere, which means you, the customer, are getting the best possible bean that you can get. That integrity from farm to table. What else could you possibly want? So you can find your very new favorite coffee over at ironbeancoffee.com. That is Iron Bean Coffee, America's local coffee roaster.
How's it going, YouTube? How's it going, Sloopcats in the channel?
Hello, YouTube instead. Instead? Did I just say instead?
You did. It is our Sloopicks episode. It is rivalry week, so we got a lot of good games this week. So,
but we also, for reasons we discussed
I didn't say great. I said good games.
Fair enough. For reasons we discussed in the Thursday episode, we have two guest pickers this week, so we better get to it, Kyle. Sorry, Austin. We've got barbecue back here. You're all invited. Welcome to the Sloopcast. How are you doing today, Kyle?
Doing all right. How are you doing today, Jared?
Oh, I'm over here hurting Austin by giving him life advice before the show started. Sorry about that, Austin. Austin, to be fair, though, you started a podcast recently, so I think you're only now just becoming aware of your quarter life crisis. So you already started your quarter life crisis. You're just aware of it now. That's one of that's the leading cause of podcasting is quarter life crisis. Just ask Kyle and I.
All right, Jared, let's get right into it. We have 6 games to pick from today. If you want to hear about the game, listen to our Thursday's episode where we do a breakdown, talk about the inside of the game, and answering a lot of questions. So be sure to hit up our Thursday episode to listen more about the Ohio State and the Team Up North game. But now, Jared.
To summarize, however, we all picked Ohio State to both win and cover. All 4 of us, because we have 2 guest pickers this week for reasons that I explained in the Thursday episode. So if you want to understand why we have, if you care, if you don't, just continue listening. But if you care, we have 2 guest pickers this week.
Yep. All right. And we're going to start off with Iowa and Nebraska. Now, this is a little...
Things happened here.
Things happened here. When we locked it in, Nebraska is a 3.5 point favorite. Now that's changed, where Iowa is now favored, but we locked them in at Nebraska at 3.5. And Lisa says, Jared, that definitely swayed me to pick Iowa to cover in this game.
Yeah. Nebraska started as a 3.5 point favorite, and because our CBS picks locked in at that time, they're still a 3.5 point favorites, according to us, but it has swung depending upon which casino you're looking at, basically to a pick 'em. It's maybe it's a half point this way or a half point that way or a full point this way or a full point that way, just depending upon where you're looking. But the bottom line here is that it's swung. So therefore, Iowa just looks like the better bet right now.
It is, and we kind of danced around here. It's because of Martinez ruled out this game, so his career is officially over at Nebraska. So that definitely hurts a lot for Nebraska's offense here. So
I have no idea what their backup situation is. Does it? I'm just saying, does it?
all right, all right. So let's see. Austin here says he picks Iowa. How is a 3-8 team a 3.5 point favorite over the number 17 team in the country? Nebraska is the best worst team I have ever seen. Because of this, the game will be close. Nebraska, I think, will pull a shocker, but it'll be late. I'll take Nebraska to win, but give me the points. Nebraska 20-17. And Dinger says Scott Frost will lead the nation's best 8-loss team to another incredibly frustrating close loss in the Corn Bowl. Keyword is close. I'll take Nebraska and the points.
All right, there we go.
All right,
I did notice that you said 8-loss team, which tipped your hand at what you were doing there. So that was appreciated.
All right. Next game here. One of the 3 undefeated teams left. Cincinnati heading on over to East Carolina.
Which is where, Kyle? You're our resident North Carolina correspondent.
It is in East Carolina.
Amazing. Yeah. Southern Florida is in Central Florida, so it is worth noting.
If I didn't have, who am I kidding? I wouldn't even. I was going to say maybe tempted to go to this game since it's only an hour away from me, but be too busy watching another game beforehand. But either way,
well, no,
Cincinnati
Kyle. This is a Nebraska game on Friday.
This is Friday. Oh crap!
You could have
Friday.
You could have
if I didn't have family here. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, Cincinnati is a 13.5 point favorite over East Carolina and Jared. This is a statement game, another statement game that Cincinnati needs to win here. Fickle is just going to come out lights out and just blow East Carolina away here. I just don't see this being a close one at all. I'll take Cincinnati here.
Hey, chat, keep us updated on that basketball game. Your basketball chat in the chat is appreciated. The Fickle has to win big. There's a motivating factor here for Cincinnati, for Fickle, to not just win these games, but win these games impressively. Therefore, he needs to put the points up. He absolutely needs to score and put up a big margin of victory. And 13.5, quite frankly, isn't even enough. Like, if you want an impressive victory over Eastern Carolina, who, quite frankly, is not, I mean, they're 7-4, they're 5-2 in conference, but so they're not a terrible team from the American, but still, you need to win this game impressively, and I don't think impressively is 13 points.
Okay. All right. Austin says here, do I care?
Austin, it's not
really.
They're not bad, Austin. They're a 7-4 football team. I mean, they're a 7-4 football team from the American, but they're still a 7-4 football team. That's not bad.
All right. Austin says, do I care? Not really. Cincy is good, and I like Fick, so that's good enough for me. Cincy wins 42-20. And then Dinger chimes in with, Cincinnati has been more cat playing with their food than bear mauling teams. The season in East Carolina is low-key not awful. I expect Cincy to win by 13.5, but 13.5 is too rich for me. I would take East Carolina and the points.
All right. So everyone thinks Cincinnati's going to win, but we have a difference in opinion, at least from Dinger's standpoint, if there's a cover there or not. All right, Kyle, what's next?
All right, we got the Iron Bowl. We got the Iron Bowl of Alabama and Auburn. This is in Auburn this year. And Alabama is a 19.5 point favorite in this game. I'll go ahead and start, and I think 19.5 is too rich for me, especially for how we've seen Alabama play this year. They're playing very close games. I think in almost half of their games, it's been very close, and I expect this to be another close game here. Yes, Nomad, Auburn is garbage, but I think rivalry games always brings out the best, and even in bad teams here. I think it's going to be closer than 19.5 points.
Is Bo Nix being out a bad thing? No, hear me out. Auburn recruits not fantastically. They're not, but they're a good recruiting team. And the next guy, there's no film on him, right? Maybe that's the magic that they need. And I'm just 19.5 just feels like too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much. I feel this game being like, I don't know, 42-28. Like, I feel like this is like a 42-28 game. That's just where I'm feeling this, which is just not a cover.
Yep. All right. Austin says Auburn to cover. As is tradition, it just means more. Alabama wins 34-24. And Dinger says the Red Elephants at the Catbirds. Did Auburn clone a healthy Bo Nix? No. Alabama to cover as Bryce Young makes his Heisman statement. At least that's what ESPN will tell us. But Jared.
Yeah.
This means that that Stroud should win the Heisman because he doesn't have elite wide receivers to throw to. Because I mean,
stop. Just stop. I'm tired. I'm tired of it. It's fine. If listen, if the Blitnikoff wants to completely delegitimize itself or reveal itself as nothing but a stats-based award, then let it. I'm not gonna waste any emotional energy on the Blitnikoff.
That is 3 games here, Jared. So let's do one more.
Yeah, let's do one
more.
Let's do one more.
All right. We got the battle of the I guess it's the big. What do we call it? The Big Northwest.
The Big North, comma West. Not to be confused with the Big Northwest. It's the Big North, comma West.
And that is Wisconsin heading on over to Minnesota. And Wisconsin is a 6.5 point favorite. And I think this line is perfect. I think there's a perfect line here because I could see it either way. Are we going to see the Wisconsin that we've seen in recent weeks where they look above average? Or are they the Wisconsin that we've seen in the beginning year, which I don't think they are, but or they just their offense just looked terrible here. Minnesota could take advantage here, but I think this is going to be a really good game. But I still have Wisconsin to cover, not by much here, but I think 6.5 points is a really good line. So I'll take Wisconsin to cover here.
Honest to God, Kyle, this line is real good. If it was 7.5, I may have still taken Wisconsin, but 6.5, I am gonna take Wisconsin. I think the line's that good. It's less than a touchdown. Like that's really what it comes down to for me. Wisconsin has finally found its stride. If you look at their past 4 games, they beat Nebraska by 7 points. And like, of course, because no one beats Nebraska by more than 17 or 7 points unless you're Ohio State, right? They embarrassed Northwestern. Northwestern's not good this year, granted. They ran Rutgers right off the field, 52-3, and they beat Iowa by 20 points. Like with the exception of Nebraska, and Nebraska's the exception. No one beats Nebraska by a ton of points. Nebraska
Yeah.
does not count in this equation. They've won all of their recent games, even throw Purdue into that equation, which was the game before Iowa, by more than 7 points. So therefore, yes, I will take Wisconsin to both win and cover.
All right.
And
All right.
technically, they would have covered this line against Nebraska too, because it was 7 points and this is 6.5.
All right. Austin here says, is Wisconsin good? Their whole season has confused me, and I genuinely cannot decide whether or not I think they're a good football team. I think they're just good enough to not beat good teams, but can edge out average ones. Minnesota is an average team. The number is good, but 6.5 is not enough. Barely. Wisconsin wins 23-16, which is a cover. And then Dinger says, in a game with all the excitement of cheese curds covered in gravy, go with the team that has a superior running back. Also, go watch something else. Wisconsin to cover.
There you go. All right, Kyle, I believe that means it is time for an ad break.
All right. Let me go ahead and start off with the Mad Canadian Barbecue Company. Mentioned at the beginning, OLC Shrine next Thursday. Carry 4-7 barbecue bingo. Be there. Now as for some reviews here. We get someone here saying that they were referred. They were referred from somebody to go try some of the Mad Canadian. Said this is the best barbecue I've had in a long time. This barbecue cannot be missed. Another saying the brisket was absolutely delicious. Sides were very good. 5 stars from all of us. And we have another one with some fish tacos. Yes, he actually has fish tacos, and he has it with street corn, and they say it's amazing. Their husband got ribs and briskets and was fantastic as well. Slaw and potato salads were the bomb. Highly recommend to all. With great reviews like these, how could you not head on over to the Mad Canadian food truck and get some of that delicious barbecue? Again, next Thursday, 4-7, Cary, Ohio, barbecue and bingo. Be sure to follow him on social media for more information about him and his food truck and where he'll be heading to next. Mad Canadian Barbecue Company, who are the official barbecue of the Cary High School Blue Devils.
This episode of the Sloopcast also brought to you by the Iron Bean Coffee Company. The Iron Bean Coffee Company is an Ohio-based, just outside of Toledo in Perrysburg, Ohio, based coffee company, Marine veteran owned and operated. Taking a look, last episode we looked at some of the flavored coffees. Taking a quick peek over here at the non-flavored coffees, and Kyle, we got a little bit of a sale. We got a little bit of a sale happening, at least at the time of this record. The drink from the skull of your enemy, $2 off. The cast iron, which is a medium roast coffee, $2 off. The drink from the skull of your enemy, by the way, is a dark coffee. The integrity, which is like their specialty espresso. It doesn't have to be an espresso, but that's, if you like espresso, this is their recommended bean. $2 off. The Thor, which is a medium dark coffee, $2 off. The Fear No Evil, which is a black roast coffee, $2 off. Kyle, the Loki is the lightest coffee they have. It's a light venturing into the territory of a medium. By light standards, it's kind of dark. By medium standards, it's kind of light. You want to guess how much it's off? $2. The Odin, because like you can't put Thor and Loki on sale without also putting Odin on sale. Am I right? Am I right? I'm right. Also on sale. Also, Kyle, $2 off. That's right. I'm handing out $2 bills to everyone. I guess actually the Iron Bean Coffee Company is. So, if you want to find your new favorite coffee and save yourself $2 or so, you can do so by heading over to ironbeancoffee.com. That is Iron Bean Coffee, America's local coffee roaster. What game is next, Kyle?
Next game, we have the Battle of the Oklahomas. Oklahoma heading on over to Oklahoma State. It's a 7:30 kickoff, and the Cowboys in orange are a 3.5-point favorite. Who do you got in this game, Jared?
It's Bedlam, man. It's Bedlam. This game's really interesting from a like playoff perspective. Both of these teams on the fringe of making it to the playoffs. depending upon how this game ends, depending upon who wins, this could be matchup one of two. They could meet again in the Big 12 championship game, but also Baylor might. So we'll see how that plays out. But to me, Kyle, you have two rivals, both playing for a playoff spot, both playing for a conference championship game. I got to take the points and run. That's it. I got to take the points and run. Oklahoma is the dog in this game by 3.5 points. I am taking the points and I'm walking away. That's where I'm going.
You know, I don't think I've ever said this about a Big 12 team, Jared.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with the team who has a good defense.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to go with the Cowboys to cover here. 3.5. Yeah, it's venturing on. It's definitely not a pick'em game, obviously, but it's still not enough to scare me. I think Oklahoma State could win by a touchdown, maybe 10 points, but I have a good feeling about these Cowboys and their defense here and really shutting down Oklahoma, who have struggled against far less teams.
Yeah.
I'm looking. Yeah. So I'll take the Cowboys here to cover.
Kyle, this might be, as far as, this might be one of the lowest over-unders I've seen for an Oklahoma, for at least a Big 12 Oklahoma game in a very long time. Do you want to take a quick guess? Where do you think the over-under for this game is?
If you're saying it's low, I'm going to say 59.
Lower.
Oh, wow.
Guess again.
51?
Lower.
Wow. What is it, Jared?
49.5.
Take the over in that one.
I think so. But yeah, they're basically saying these teams are only going to score 25 points each. Yeah, it's shocking. What happened to my Big 12?
Yeah, all right. Austin says, Bedlam. This game is usually fun, whether or not the game will actually be good. But I think this year might be slightly different, as Oklahoma State is actually playing defense in the Big 12. Crazy, I know. But what the over-under is, take the under. I am betting on Oklahoma continuing to have sputtering offense and for Oklahoma State to continue having a stifling defense. I'll take Oklahoma State 28. I can't read that. The pixels are too low for me. I'll take Oklahoma State 28-17. And Dinger says, people who quickly claim land to establish ranches at their employees. Part of me says Oklahoma State loves to lose to their betters. However, the rest of me watched Caleb and Rattler play in a few games, and what I expect to be a cringe-filled contest, I'll take the Cowboys to cover.
Next up, Kyle, we have Notre Dame and Stanford. This is our final Sloop pick of the week. We have Notre Dame traveling to Stanford. Notre Dame is a 17.5 point favorite. Who do you have in this one?
I got Notre Dame. I don't really like Stanford, and similar to like Cincinnati, this is their last game and their last opportunity to make a statement to the committee here. And if chaos were to happen the next couple weeks here, Notre Dame needs to go out on a high note here. So I'm going to take Notre Dame to cover that 17.5.
Notre Dame's last few games. Granted, Georgia Tech sucks. They beat Georgia Tech 55-0. Virginia, who's a decent ACC team, 28-3. Navy, who makes a lot of teams look bad, they won that game 34-6. They're winning games, and they're winning games by decent margins right now. I think this is a better Notre Dame team now than versus what we saw from the beginning of the year. And I think there's a decent chance that Notre Dame potentially works their way into the playoffs. They need the Big 12 to play out in such a way that that there's not a one-win champion there.
Man.
And they need Georgia to just destroy Bama and make sure Bama doesn't make the playoffs. And then I think Notre Dame has a chance to actually make the playoffs. I think it's an outside chance. It's not a great chance, but it does exist, and they know it, and they know they need to not just win this game, but look like a playoff team in this football game.
You're not getting much love in the.
I
chat,
don't
Jared.
care what they love to hate me. That's they love to hate me.
All right. Let's see what our pickers say. Austin has Notre Dame, and he says this is the Nerd Bowl. Andrew Luck went to Stanford, and he used to play for my Colts. Quentin Nelson went to Notre Dame, and he does play for my Colts. Easy pick. Notre Dame wins 38-14. And then Dinger says wealthy folklore elves at Sequoia Sempervirens. Okay. After a lengthy conversation with my
I think that's
anti-Notre
Sequoia.
Dame,
The first one's Sequoia, but I can't help you on the second one.
with my anti-Notre Dame bias, I can say I foresee no version of this game where Notre Dame doesn't play down to Stanford, having spent the last week puffing themselves up on their Georgia Tech win. I will take Stanford in the points here.
Now they're going after you in the chat for your inability to pronounce words.
As is tradition.
As is tradition, of course. I've been staring at the second. Is that like the Latin name for the tree? Is that what that is? Is that what I'm seeing there? I don't know. But Sequoia, I at least know that one.
Okay.
I can't help you with the
Sequoia.
second. I can't help you with the second one.
All right, we're good there, Jared.
Okay.
All right, let's get into some Ask Sloopcast questions here. Hoosier Buckeye Zach starts off. Would you have ranked Sparty above Oregon based solely on their loss being to the now number 2 Buckeyes? Or does the committee still perceive Oregon's win over us in week 2 grandier, even after the low-ranked Utah annihilation? Or do we even care because it is 11-12?
I don't know. You gave me a parachute at the end of that question, and I'm gonna pull the cord on it. I don't care. It's two lost teams. I don't care.
Yeah, same. I'm in the same boat there. It doesn't really matter. It's 11-12. Doesn't matter if you flip them around. It really doesn't. All right, Kabuto asks us, Jared.
But hold on, real quick. Just looking at that, what you're talking about right there is the transitive property, and I mean, no, it's not. It's not, because it's a common opponent. Common opponent isn't transitive property. You know what? Who cares? Sorry, I liked my first answer better.
Right. All right, Kabuto. Should they just live broadcast the CFP committee discussions and fire Gary Barta? I'd watch.
As we've learned with C-SPAN, making it transparent doesn't necessarily make it better. Because then you just have a lot of grandstanding and people performing for the cameras and so on and so forth and yada yada yada. And by the way, Gary Barta is not doing anything wrong. It's actually just his job's impossible. Let's be very clear. His job's impossible. The task he is being given, which is to go on television and give a 1 to 2 sentence synopsis of the opinions of 13 people, is an impossible task. It is absolutely impossible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't watch it because, yeah,
sounds boring.
I would not watch it.
It sounds boring.
It does sound boring. All right, Jared, that is actually all the questions we have for today's episode. You got anything left?
I got nothing in the tank, Kyle.
Just staring at you, Jared. I'm just staring at you.
I can't believe you let that happen. I said I have nothing left, and you proceeded to just stare at me. How do you let that happen? Ask Sloopcast, say fuck Michigan. There you go.
Fuck Michigan.
There you go. Kyle's cursing.
All
Look, his
right.
parents are in the house.
All right, Jared, let's go ahead and end this episode.
All right. Can I get a basketball update in the chat, you guys? A little bit of help. I asked the chat, not you, Kyle. Shut up. 16-13. All right. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Come hang out in their Discord server. It's fun. We like it. Other people seem to like it. Come hang out in our Discord server. Patreon, give us money. Gimme. No. Most of the stuff that we earn on Patreon, we put back into we're still paying for the computers and the cameras and the microphones and everything else that we upgraded when we went to video. We're still trying to pay for that stuff. There's more stuff we'd like to buy to improve the quality of the show, to keep this thing going, and to, sort of just get some money back on the hours of time per week that we put into this. So if you got $3 a month, if you got $32 for an entire year of contribution to the show, if you feel like we've given you that much value of entertainment, maybe consider throwing back some money our way. That would be appreciated. Kyle, do you have anything in Kyle's corner?
I really don't. I'm just going to say for the Buckeye game, but it started so late.
Yeah.
So no, unfortunately, I don't. And of course, everybody in the chat wants to talk about my chair, but I'm just going to leave that in the chat discussion there.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. All right. If you want to learn the secrets of Kyle's chair, join our Discord server at discord.thesloopcast.com. Tonight's ending music, Kyle. Let's see. We played an Ohio State guy on the Tuesday episode. We played Ohio State Legends, the Dead Schembecklers, on the Thursday episode. And Kyle, we're going back to the Ohio State well, and we are going. Oh, I could have gone OAR. You're right, I could have done that, but I'm not. Mechadon actually played for the team, so I'm going to do that. So, Mechadon will be ending today's show. So, Kyle, with all that being said, I'd like to encourage everyone to drink local beer, listen to local music, and of course, support your local podcasters. Once again, this is Mechadon.